Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video we are going to be making Uncle Buck's Forge's scissor swedge, or what he likes to call a gate fuller. I'll put a link to his channel and his Etsy store, I believe it is. I'll put his contact info down in the description down below. He was nice enough to take and send me one of these to take and put together, so keep that in mind. Just full disclosure there, he did send one of these to me free of charge to show you all out there who are buying these how to actually weld them up and put them together the proper way. So without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? And I'll show you some of the components. Okay, so here we are. I just wanted to take and show you guys a few pieces here. Now, real quick, just wanted to mention, I did record this so my hands won't line up with this, but the audio kind of came out poor. So we are doing this as a voiceover for this one section. So you will get a blank set of dies with this kit and a gate fuller set of dies and or the swedges for doing pipe. So you'll get those two things that you'll have going along, and in the next clip or so when we get to it, we will be working on these specifically, these swedges here, instead of the blank one. I'll save the blank one for another day to cut to size what I want to do. Anyways, so moving right along, what you will also get in this kit is the main body. I believe that it'll already be welded up like this. If it's not, it'll come to you flat assembled, but I'm pretty sure Uncle Buck is selling them like you see it right here. You will also get 3 bolts and 3 locking nuts that are to take and go through there. The 2 bolts on bottom, and then you will get 1 bolt from the top for the hinge portion. And the whole thing's going to go together something like this. So there you go. So there's your component pieces. One thing that you will not get in the kit is you will not get the hardy shank. This hardy shank is, you'll need it to be the size of your anvil. So that's why it's not included. Anvils range a little bit in size. So you will have to provide that. And then the last thing that you'll have to provide is a strike block. I just cut that from a piece of 1-inch square or 25 mil square. And, you know, off the same bar that I made for my hardy shank. And there you go. So it sits right on the top, right on the end, not in the middle. It's very important that it does not go in the middle, because you can take and create a sway in your bar. You need to make sure that the striking point is out on the end, just like so. If you have the striking point to where it's in the middle, you'll end up getting a tacoing effect on the bar, and that's no good. So I will be right back with you after I get this welded on top, and I get the hardy shank welded on the bottom of the piece as well. And that way I can just get right into the pre-assembly work, do that. So I will be right back with you once I have that done, and we'll get on with the rest of the video. Okie doke. Now that once you get your hardy shank welded on like what I've got there, make sure you grind down the welds just a little bit, so this way it fits a little snugger to your anvil surface. Do not go heavy on the weld here. If you really build up the weld, you're going to have to grind it down. Just keep that in mind. Next step, we need to take and bolt this together. Now, I'm doing this in ahead of actually cleaning up each one of these fuller areas here, each one of these gates, if you will, or swedges. The reason why I'm doing that is just so you can see how this is bolted together and how the whole thing will work together. So first things first, we're going to slip that in like so, and we're going to work on the bottom side. Take out your bolts. I like to get everything started, and then I come back through with an impact and just a regular adjustable wrench. That's one of the easiest ways to take and do this whole thing, is to take and have that impact with a little adjustable wrench on the other side. to just hold the bolt head as you go here. Now here's kind of a crucial step. If you tighten this up, because there's enough play here, there's just a little bit of play for this to be in here. If you tighten these all the way down before this top portion is in, this will bind up. You won't be able to get this in. So trust me, it's not that it just doesn't fit right. It's just because you bound it down here, so it pinched it up top. So make sure you get that in there as well. So we'll do that real quick, and then we'll tighten everything up. For you guys to see how this is going along. I'm just doing it in the bottom position. You can obviously go to the higher position if you're going to work larger stuff in here. You can go to a much higher position. We're going to go right there. And now I'm going to hold one of these nuts right here. A little tighten. This is just to get them initially tightened up. You don't have to have an impact to do this. You want to leave them somewhat loose if you can. But that's how that'll go together. So now you guys can see how that shapes up. And it's a pretty handsome looking tool if I don't say so myself. So there you go. I've got this a little tighter than what I should, so I should loosen that up a little bit so it works a little bit on the easier side. It is okay if this kind of wobbles a bit up and down. Remember, this is going to be supported by your anvil while this whole thing's down in there. It's okay if this is a little bit loose on the bottom. This does not have to be solidly rigid in order for this to work, because this is trapping the piece. It's stopping it from going left and right or sprying on you like a pair of scissors cutting something too thick. Instead of it doing that, this is holding that together really well. So up and down motion is okay. Left and right motion is not. You don't want to have a bunch of left and right. So if you got a bunch of left and right, just go ahead and tighten it up just a bit more, and that should eliminate most of that. So I'll go ahead and tighten it just a little bit more here. And that'll take out any left and right motion, but it probably will still leave a little bit of up and down motion like you see there, which is fine. That's exactly what you want there. So there you go. That's what the whole thing's going to look like assembled. Now I'll come over to the vise and I'll show you how we're going to clean up these grooves here. So this way it's a much better forging things and it won't leave galling. Okay, so here comes the fun part. Cleaning this all up. Now, since this is a, like a plasma cut type piece or a flame cut piece, it will have some sharp edges, and those need to be addressed and smoothed off. You can do this one of two ways. The easiest way is with an angle grinder. I happen to have a Bosch angle grinder. You guys have seen this in a lot of videos. This is a variable speed angle grinder, and I find it absolutely handy, super handy for purposes like this. I'll put a link to all the tools I've been using in the description down below. Again, those are affiliate links, so if you do choose to check out any of those tools, go over there and read on them. If you buy them, they will give me a little bit of a spiff for directing traffic to Amazon or eBay or whatever at no additional cost to you. So again, just be aware of that, and we'll get right back into it here. So you can use this here, or you can use a die grinder. A die grinder with a carbide burr. It's over in the box. I won't get that right now. And you can clean these up, or the simplest of all, you can use files. So you don't have to have power equipment, but power equipment makes it a lot easier. I'm going to show you how easy this will make this, because I can turn it down a lot and run this at a lot slower speed. So let's go ahead and take off. We're going to chamfer these edges on both sides and then slightly radius it as we go. So let's get into that now. Okay, so there you go. Pretty simple. You're just rounding, you're just taking off any of the sharp edges with a flat, and then you're just radiusing that into the die. Also, it's helpful to radius these parts as well, so this way they're not sharp areas on each side of that swedge area. It's good to radius those off so they're not sharps, because those can create galling as well. So now that we've got that cleaned up, you just wash, rinse, repeat on the other one and get that all cleaned up. Now, if you do have like little facets and it doesn't look like it's perfectly clean and smooth, you can clean this up with a bit of sandpaper, just going like that and smooth it all up, or you can let this work in with hot use. With hot use, this will slowly kind of planish, if you will, the surface when you're heating up, constantly heating and forging pipe into these depressions. It will clean up those surfaces naturally for you. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get this all set up, get it all together, and then we will go ahead and forge some pipe with it. Okie doke, now it's time to take and show you guys how this works. We've got this all set up, again, nice and loose. I've got a piece of 1¼ inch pipe hot in the forge. I'm going to bring it out, and I'm going to use this largest neck down portion here in this gate fuller. Here we go, coming out with it really nice and hot. Find it right there. You just want to keep hitting and turning. Neck this right down. And you're going to keep going with it until it bottoms out. As you can see, this is a very effective and quick way of doing this, necking down pipe, as opposed to using just a regular fuller and a guillotine tool. This is really where a scissor swedge like this shines. So you really give it the gusto here and keep it pretty nice and even. Okay, now that's good enough for the first heat. Pull that out. And you see that leaves a really nice smooth, just really smooth and even all the way around. We'll go ahead and heat that up one more time there. All right, here we go. Put that in there. Now I can hear myself basically bottoming out now, if you will. We're going to move to the next die. Very nice. Next die. Woo. Sometimes it'll get hung up there if you hammer on it a lot. But there you have it. Really nice, and has got that just really nice. Really nicely done. And this is, by the way, I could just tell you that this is about 10 times faster necking down pipe this way versus a guillotine tool. Just a regular guillotine tool that you would see, just because of that notch system, the way that those are swedged down like that. It's just so much quicker to do. Now, if you do have dies like this in a guillotine tool, it'll work out good. But if you don't, this is the way to go. It's the easiest way to take and create those really nice things. So again, I'll put the links to Uncle Buck's Forge down in the description down below. Go check him out. Go check his channel. I'll also pop him up here somewhere in one of the cards here, so you can go check out either his Etsy store or anything like that. He also has a YouTube channel on YouTube if you want to see what the guy looks like and all those other good stuff. But without further ado, I'm going to let you all get back to it. I hope you have a blessed and awesome rest of your day. And as always, God bless you. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.